Welcome back for the final time tonight to this series of the United Poros of Runeterra taking on 7 Deadly Sins. For the last time, I am Everyday. With me is Last, and it's been 2 stops. Who do you think will be bringing the boot down this time?
Well, obviously 7 Deadly Sins did stomp a bit harder than UPR. Both of them just completely ending the game before the 15-minute mark. So it's going to be interesting to see how they draft. Hopefully we'll get an early versus early game and it might actually be close, but if both games were any implication, it's probably just going to be another stomp.
Hopefully not. Let's hope we have something a little bit closer here in this third game. But of course, at the moment, it looks like blue side is the blessed side. So the Poros win, obviously.
Obviously.
What do we think? What are we hoping to see in this draft?
Well, like I said, it would be interesting to see an early versus early, to see them try and compete for objectives early on, maybe get some early skirmishes on. Obviously, both of them showed that they definitely know what they're doing. Both junglers knew how to pressure early game. Bot lane hasn't really had much impact in both games. The Ashe was mainly just an ult bot in game 1 when the Ashe ban is coming out as well. And so I think it's really just up to some interesting jungle and mid lane picks, maybe some good synergies, something along the lines of a Gragas Yasuo, like nothing like that, but something that has good synergy. Could be interesting to see. Let's hope that the tilt from game 2 hasn't stuck with UPR, and hopefully they've just taken a deep breath. And I hope to see them in form like they were game 1 again.
Yeah, very, very true. And there's Lulu hitting the bans. It did a lot in that second game, so not too surprised to see it removed. How will the 7 Deadly Sins end the ban phase and send us on to the pick?
I won't be denied.
Sejuani. Obviously, they did not like that Ashe Sejuani combo with the long range engage, like I said last game. So they just feel comfortable with that. The ban. The bans from the second game, where they obviously stopped, so it must have worked out. So they'll just do the same thing again. Oh!
Okay.
Recently buffed Yuumi. Also buffed items, support items, which means increased mana regeneration. Always fun to play against a Yuumi that has infinite mana. Seems like they're gonna be taking an Ezreal. Yuumi? Oh yeah, fucking boring a champion. Permaban, Yuumi, and Lulu. Any AD carry players in the chat, or any player in the chat, ban Lulu and Yuumi. You won't regret it.
Yeah, it's true. But it is going to be a Twitch. Has been banned in the previous 2 games. Has now gotten through. So Sean will be taking the rat down to the bot lane. See if he can get some of that stinky cheese upon his opponents.
So they're actually gonna leave the Ezreal open. They feel like, yeah, we'll probably be Karma Twitch. Okay. Interesting. So late game scaling AD carry, poke support. Don't know how I feel about that bot lane combo. And they're also leaving Ezreal open. Ezreal Yuumi is very predominant and is very strong in the right hands, and it can be quite good in the early to mid game. And I'm guessing that's what they're aiming for, but Sivir? What? Okay. Sivir Yuumi. This is gonna be a very go fast combo. Very safe indeed as well because of Sivir, and Yuumi can just sit on it. Disengage, engage. They have what they need.
I have questions.
I have lots of questions too, but I don't know if I want the answers. Hecarim! That was banned out first game, so obviously.
Alright. This is just a speedy comp. This is NASCAR.
If I see a Zillion, I'm gonna be very, very happy. I'm gonna be a happy man.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the question you have to ask yourself is, are they going to be able to get around the corner? Or are they going to do a Dale Earnhardt and smash straight into the wall?
And they pit. Okay.
Okay.
So
gets Orianna.
70S, I believe, just lost first rotation. Because they see that, oh, Hecarim, right? Very go fast. With a Yuumi, even more go fast. They have lockdown, and they have good dive with Hecarim ulti. They just picked 2 immobile carries and a Karma.
Yeah, that's very risky.
This is
freezing.
Unless you're, yeah.
It's very good at Orianna though, but this is tricky.
Unless I mean, even if Hecarim's behind, we did see last game that Donger, he did get a bit counter jungled in the early game, but he still did his best. He was still ahead in CS. He still was even in items with Ignitar for some part of the game, but in the end he did just start running it down. But even if Hecarim is behind, the fear and the long range engage onto the backline, I mean, that's just gonna hurt no matter what. And unless you can burst him before he gets close, which probably won't happen, then I don't see that Twitch and Oriana are gonna be able to do much if they get engaged on.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard. We do see the Galio and Kassadin bans coming out, which we've seen every game. And Ornn and Aatrox are going to be the final bans.
Obviously, they
finally get the Nunu.
we might get the Nunu. That would actually be pretty decent. Because what 70S want to do right now is they want to pick a comp that lets them engage. Because they cannot afford to let UPR engage onto them. Because like I said, so much dive with the Yuumi and Hecarim and lockdown. Okay. They just went against exactly what I said.
Okay. They've gone. That's a horrible decision. I'm gonna put it out there.
UPR.
That's a horrible decision. But
they also banned Ornn, which I was gonna point out because Ornn is something you want on 70S. Like I said, you want something that can let you engage. And it looks like they might just pick Poppy for the top lane, which was another pick I was gonna suggest for 70S. If they, or sorry, UPR. Okay, fuck me. Excuse me. But
do you like engage?
do you like engage? I was gonna say, oh yeah, 70S are gonna pick engage, right? And then you just pick Poppy to stop engage. You know, like Zac, Nunu, like Poppy W just cucks them all. Any VL veterans will know that Lordio is a proprietor of Poppy Jungle to stop engage, and that's something I would have liked to see pull out, but UPR just going full engage here, and 70S are just walking right into it. And you're gonna ask in a bit who won draft, and unless there's some miracle champion that I can't think of, Maokai's
Wasn't
not
even gonna
one of
last
them.
this time.
Nope, it was UPR that won draft. Can I get an F in chat for 70S?
Look, I know, like, if you just look at the team comps, yeah, this is the engage is too much, and that all of it's so immobile. The Kha'Zix is a mind-blowing pick because the enemy team is saying, "Hey, we want to play a 5v5 deathball comp," and you're saying, I will pick the jungler that cannot function in a 5v5. Like,
yeah,
bit of a strange one, but there is execution. UPR have to actually execute the comp.
Yeah, this is VL we're talking about. It could go either way, but of course, looking from an actual player's perspective, if this was a solo queue game, I probably would have dodged. And people in VL know that I do not dodge very often. Kha'Zix, it could be very interesting if they just perma-dive onto 70S bot lane. Maybe Kha'Zix can kind of just ult around, kill Sivir. Maybe Azir if they're out of position, but that's about it. Maybe. I don't see them winning any fights. Maybe some skirmishes, depending on who's in it. But they just can't afford to 5v5, especially with Yuumi Hecarim. The amount of lockdown with Yuumi are and the dive with Hecarim are, it's just it's gonna come down, like you said, a lot to execution. I do not see the bot lane playing much role in this game for both sides. And I think Yumi's just gonna kind of do what she can in lane, probably heal, maybe get some mana flow stacks, and then when the mid game comes, she's just gonna hop onto somebody else. Sivir's just gonna ricochet from the back line. It's just gonna be complete steamroll if executed correctly.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the other side of the coin. How do 7 Deadly Sins prevent the steamroll? I know it's not easy, but you've got to tell me their win conditions here.
Yeah, well, obviously they have scaling. They have some decent 2-item spikes.
Do they? Do they have scaling against Azir Sivir?
Well, they both have scaling. I mean, I'm not going to say one outscales the other. Well, I mean, they have scaling champions. See, 70S has scaling champions with Twitch, which is obviously a hyper carry. I don't see him doing much hyper carrying this game though. But if they can just avoid 5v5ing and they don't have that much pick potential. Shockwave maybe into a Maokai W. It's really champion dependent. They can get some good skirmishes off. I don't see them winning any 5v5s. Maybe get a pick or two. just vision control is the name of the game. You cannot afford UPR to what's it called engage on you from out of vision. You're not going to be able to step up anywhere. Twitch is going to be under his tier 2 tower trying to farm, and then Malphite just ults over the wall. It's going to be very important that the supports are warding and getting as much vision as they can and denying as much vision as they can, especially UPR. Getting multiple sweepers is probably really good for their team. So vision control is how I see both of these teams doing well, and for 7DS specifically, skirmishes and picks, because 5v5 is not.
Yeah, that's very true. Of course, there is, of course, the possibility of Kha'Zix just getting really far ahead in the early game. Kha'Zix versus Hecarim is very Kha'Zix favored. So if he can pull that one off, Ignitar was very aggressive on the Lee Sin last game. If he can do that again, that's just a possibility of a very, very fed bug just snowballing the whole game out of control. But we'll have to see if it will be the bug doing splats or going splat. Yeah, just getting to the end of the spectator delay.
This is something I actually did want to see. I didn't really think about that until now, but I did want to see these types of junglers that can be proactive in the early game. I definitely want to see Donger and Ignitar going at it. These junglers have both done their teams immense favors in the games that they have won. Definitely the star players for those games. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play against each other. I also want to see the rune choice for Hecarim. I'm just going to wait until the loading screen steps in here, because depending on what he goes, he went Ignite Conquer. So this could be actually very, very bad for Kha'Zix if he invades incorrectly. That Ignite can be very strong early game, especially with the healing reduction on Kha'Zix's W. And the Conquer, if Kha'Zix doesn't burst him quick enough, and Hecarim W can be extremely hard for him early game to try and get kills off in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, of course, that Ignite also means that these early game ganks out of the horse will be absolutely filthy. Just be able to run people down. His solo lanes are not bringing Ignite, of course. It's an Azir, and top lane never does. So, makes sense. Have that early fire. But,
definitely.
It's tricky.
It is a tricky one to navigate. This game is going to come solely down to execution. Of course, I do believe very strongly that UPR won draft, but it's going to come down to how 7DS plays this out. Both top lanes going Grasp, which is going to be a bonk fest, noodle fest. We all expected that. They're going to come in later in the game when they've got some items on their belt. Bot lane, only defensive summoner spells. So they're not here to get the early game fight. They're not here to win. They're not here to get bot lane prio solely based on kills. They're just here to wait and scale. Hopefully get their junglers do something about it. So they know their place. They know how the games have been playing out. So it's just going to be a slow bot lane for now, but it does look like they're going to be invading bot lane. Their 7DS is going to be stacking. Waiting for the invade, possibly.
Yeah, well, we did see the attempted play last game out of the United Poros. They tried to sneak into the bot jungle, but this time they will not be going forward, so I don't think this early game stack is going to find anything.
I think they actually lose out on this. You can see that Azir and Malphite are actually walking up to possibly get a ward. And they seems like they're going to get it. No? Maybe? Please? Ward? Looking at the comps, they finally get the word. Finally. Looking at both the comps, they don't really have much level 1. I don't really see why 7DS stacked. I think it was just purely based on that they did it last game, but I mean, UPR doesn't really have any level 1 threat. They have no lockdown. The most they can get out is maybe a flash, like at best, but they'd probably like lose flashes for it as well. So they just lose vision there, so they can see exactly where Kha'Zix is actually starting to lose.
Yeah, I think he just wants the strong leash from his bot lane. Just wants to get that speed going. But yeah, they have no idea that that ward is there either. It's just free vision, as you said. That stack could have been big if it had actually found something. But, of course, it didn't. So both junglers will just be clearing, and they should have a good idea of where Kha'Zix is going to be.
Yeah, Sivir should have an easy time tracking their jungler from here on out. And Kha'Zix isn't really gonna do much level 2. So she can probably just track that. Oh, top lane, be careful around, you know. Oh! Discord,
Oh.
disconnect.
Oh well.
Classic, classic.
We do have
Like
the
I was
comms
saying,
error, but continue your point.
like I was saying, Kha'Zix is gonna path topside. So the UPR should just be communicating right now. Malphite, don't do anything stupid. Don't get caught out, please. Maybe mid lane. Kha'Zix might go Wolves, red, mid, depending on how pushed up they are. It does look like, I can't check now to pause, but it seems that Azir is pushing Orianna in, so it should bounce back to Azir, and he might be able to freeze it there. So Kha'Zix is going to have a tough time doing anything right now if Malphite does just sit back a bit. As I was saying before, Sivir, Yuumi with only defensive summoners versus Twitch Karma, also with defensive summoners. This is just going to be a snooze fest, CS fest in the bot lane.
Yeah, it could be fairly slow. So we are just waiting for this pause to end. It should be
Very soon.
enough.
If
as
Ignitar
ours
learns
are in
that
chat.
/all doesn't come before the / unmute or unpause.
Yep, you got to not have that command in there. But,
Looking at some summoners, we see that both teams have 2 TPs, so this could be an extremely volatile first couple of objectives if they want to try and look for anything. And there's the unpause, finally. If these junglers get anything going off, these TPs can be extremely helpful. Because just the presence of having a TP can change a fight. And so if your jungler's ahead and you see a top lane TPing, the enemy team's probably going to try and disengage. So it's going to be interesting to see how these TPs are used. And I definitely want to try and keep a look on this Kha'Zix and how he's going to play out in this game. Because right now, it doesn't look like he's going to do much.
Yeah, he's still just farming out, of course. It's only 2.5 minutes in. I still think he could take a visit up to the top lane. There is a lot of lockdown in that Maokai. Of course, Malphite's a very tanky boy, but it's a lot of damage out of Kha'Zix early.
Definitely.
He does end up going.
Gank setup is extremely important. But as we look in the mid lane here, it does look like Azir is trying to push in this wave. And if he does, he will leave him susceptible to gank Kha'Zix. Ooh, bot lane looking for a trade.
Yep, the tether has come out, but it's a lot of damage straight back onto Rewind there. Might want to rewind that trade as Kha'Zix is lurking in the bush near the mid lane, but will just back off and go towards his crab.
Malphite has, or no, sorry, excuse me. Maokai has warded the river brush. So Malphite, I'm mixing them up here. Okay, Malphite does finally ward the river brush, but he hasn't spot out Kha'Zix. So unless they haven't, oh, he walks on a ward there. Okay, so they know he's topside now. So Sivir and Yuumi running a bit low on mana, and they've actually, it does look like they've actually lost that trade. It seems that Rewind has popped all his pots. They should be able to walk forward a little bit more, probably push that wave, get a recall. Maybe get some early items. Hecarim is invading Kha'Zix's wolves right now, as he did see Kha'Zix in his own jungle. So this is going to be a little bit of vertical jungle. Nothing special.
Yeah, just going to be a couple camps each, as Hecarim has already taken the wolves and has now moved to the Gromp. Let's see if Kha'Zix goes deep enough to get the wolves with the Scryer's Bloom. I think he will be bold enough. But yeah, they know exactly where this Kha'Zix is. I don't know if they know exactly where Hecarim is, but they're playing like they do.
Bot lane's taking some interesting trades.
Yep, there's an exhaust coming out. There's a lot of damage. The Boomerang Blade does a lot. Rewind very, very low, but there won't be a flash forward to follow.
Exhaust only summoner burn, and 7DS's bot lane are just left at a sliver of HP. It is starting to show a pattern here of 7DS bot lane saving their summoners and ending up just being forced out of lane because of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Also worth mentioning, Twitch did start Cult, so opting into the very weak lane there doesn't give any stats, but will obviously be able to cash it out later on.
Interesting thing about Cole that it isn't actually lifesteal. Cole says that it is 3 life on pip, and late game, the current build right now on Twitch is to go Mana Moon. Mana Moon into Runins means that, and Twitch ulti, means that you get constant procs. and that also applies to Cull. So you actually get quite a bit of lifesteal from Twitch ulti and Brunins with Cull.
Well, you get 9.
Every person hit with Twitch auto plus Brunins does the 3 as well, and Mana Moon proc, so it doubles it. So it can
I'm gonna be honest. I like where you're going with this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's just because he's Twitch and wants to.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that's.
Oh, hello! Wait a minute! Big Bang! Oh, he's misplayed it so hard! Oh no, Big Bang! You can't do this to me, baby!
Tank versus tank matchup, both with Grasp. You do not expect the solo kills.
Hit by the mouse fail twice!
And yourself didn't even use Flash, while Big Bang did. That is crushing. Of course, not gonna translate to much just yet. I mean, I'd prefer to see kills on maybe Kha'Zix, Orianna, or Twitch, but I mean, a solo kill is a solo kill. That is still first blood. And it does give him a bit more priority in the top lane. While in bot side, it does look like they're doing an early Drake.
Yeah, they get the instant pressure there as they have the bot lane priority. They'll just walk into the Ocean Drake. This one's very easy, pretty uncontestable. Let's get silly here, bot lane, as Potato Spaghetti will now be having to run away, has to use the flash. But has the speed.
I'm not sure that flash was completely necessary. I feel like they could have used something else, but I mean, they 70S still gets something out of that, which is fine for them. Not something you want to see from UPR. If you were just kind of checking the waters, they didn't really know exactly what was going on. But early Drake pickup for 70S, that is something you want to see. Pretty slow early game compared to the other games, so it really comes down to who can execute their comp best, probably in the mid game or the late game. Oh, gank!
Oh, here we go. The Twitch has gone invisible. There's the spell shield on the Kha'Zix W, but there's so much more damage coming out. Can they get under tower? They can. The boomerang blade comes back, but he's flashed away from.
They almost get a return kill, and they only used 2 summoners to get out, while Kha'Zix had to use his flash. I mean, it's not worth, but you couldn't really hope for better in that situation to get Kha'Zix completely buggered out. While Hecarim is sort of just always in Kha'Zix's jungle, he understands that Kha'Zix is trying to do stuff around the map. Of course, they do lose a Drake, but I'm just going to try and get him behind as much as I can. We haven't really been seeing that much of jungler on jungler action, more just indirect camp taking. But Kha'Zix trying to do as much work as he can, while Hecarim's sort of just trying to deny as much as he can.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, the Poros just need to get through this early game. Yeah, Kha'Zix has been much more active. Hecarim is a little bit ahead in farm due to the steals, but... Oh, but hello! The Shurima Shuffle attempt came out, but it was a flash for a flash.
Flashless mid laners. Now this, Hecarim is now level 6. This could be interesting if they try and do anything in the mid lane. By the time that Azir's ulti is up, they should be able to do something mid depending on back timings. I do want to look at the gold a bit here. Hecarim is not actually that far ahead, only about 200 gold ahead, even though he has been trying to deny as much as possible. But Kha'Zix has just been trying to do his own stuff. Like, gold means nothing if you don't get to use it. So well, let's see how that Hecarim uses that very small lead that he has while Kha'Zix is getting Drakes for the rest of his team.
Yeah, I mean, the thing was, Hecarim did go in and steal away quite a few camps, but wasn't actually farming his own jungle at the same time. So he could shoot a little bit ahead in gold in the next minute or so, as he does actually clear out his jungle. That was up for a little while. So it wasn't the perfect invade, but still, he should be ahead. But as you said, it is a matter of he's getting himself ahead, while Kha'Zix potentially is getting his team ahead, as he's just claimed that Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, we do see that the top lane pressure is paying off. Kha'Zix just take down the Rift Herald uncontested. Sivir actually sitting at a bit of a CS lead over the Twitch right now. Of course, Sivir wave clear is quite insane. Malphite and Maokai just sort of slapping each other's heads. Haven't really been seeing much apart from some good trades from yourself. Mid lane, they're also just banking at each other. It really comes down to how these junglers are going to play out the next couple of minutes, and maybe get some fights around that Herald to get some plates.
Yeah, and it is a Cloud Drake spawning in about a minute and a half. Bit of a shame for the side of the Poros that we don't go to a Cloud Rift. I'm sure they would have loved a potential Cloud Soul. But, oh well, we don't see the ultra fast comp. We just have to keep ourselves with just very fast.
Imagine 3 or maybe just 2 Cloud Souls on UPR, constant ultimates. Whenever 70S come out of the fountain, it's just gonna be another engage. But like you said, not gonna be a Cloud Soul. But ulti timers are still gonna be extremely important for both teams. And so far, I haven't been seeing enough for me to draw any conclusions that 70S are gonna be winning, because UPR just have a stronger comp in and of itself. And Ignitar on the Kha'Zix hasn't really been getting ahead enough for me to think that he can do anything about it.
Yeah, it is still looking like it's going to come down to the team fights, but look down here as Rewind flashing away from the Yuumi ult.
A lot of people getting caught out of position in this series and having to burn random flashes. Of course, not much has been done about that, but what can you do?
This will be a Karma that flashless for the Drake fight though. The Yuumi ult traded for the support's flash. Pretty worth it, I would say. Both top laners with teleport. We could have a big fight around this dragon.
The back timings are a bit late from 70S, so that means that UPR does have mid advantage and bot advantage, or priority, excuse me, for this Drake. Of course, 70S do have that Herald if they want to try and get anything off during this fight, but it doesn't look like they're going to use it, and they're just starting the Drake now.
Yep, there is the start. Will the top laners join us? It is definitely going to be a contest here. Down to half health is the dragon. There's the shockwave. Coyote will instantly go down. He manages to get the fear off, but that is still a jungler dead. Forward goes to Sivir and Yuumi. The wall has come out of his ear. This is already an absolute disaster. Big Bang has not had a bang at all. It was a big swing with no ding as he missed absolutely everyone before he went down. It's a disaster in the bottom river.
What happened to the UPR that had mad communication skills game 1? They were completely split. Hecarim was like, oh, let's keep doing Drake, and he gets caught out for it. And everybody was just so late.
Oh, that is so dumb. Oh.
What did I miss?
You're never getting that kill, Azir. That is dumb.
Oh, he tried to turn. Oh my god.
You are on 100 health. You wouldn't even have gotten the Maokai in one combo. That was so dumb.
I don't know what happened to the UPR from game 1, but this is definitely not them. The people that were showing up are not showing up anymore. And they're 70S are just gonna get bot lane tower for this. They're gonna get Drake. They're gonna get a almost 3k gold lead just off that singular fight. This is exactly what they needed. We saw a glimpse of what UPR need to do. We saw the Hecarim try and dive, and that didn't really work out because he already died. We saw the Malphite trying to go in, but
that had to be one of the worst team fights in terms of execution I've ever seen.
Yes.
They all went on different. They were like, all right, we've got a death ball. We all go together, except you didn't TP in at the right time. Your Hecarim got caught. Your Sivir randomly flashed to try and kill someone in the back line. Like, can any of you hit the same target, guys? Any of you? Like, just two of you hit the same person and maybe you'd win the fight.
Twitch came out of stealth quite early to think that Malphite still had ult up. But Malphite didn't even try and do anything about the Twitch. The communication was not there, and it shows. They end up paying dearly for it. And I think this is just a piece of the tilt from last game showing up in that the communication issues are stemming for, again.
There's tilt in this bloody caster call at the moment, as I'm furious at that execution. That was rubbish. Poros, you need to do so much better. Your composition is so easy. You just have to click on the same people. You hit, oh my god, hit the Twitch. Just hit the
Not even that, just press R and wait Hecarim to fear the backline.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Press R comp with a bit more skill needed. It's not like Misfortune Nami kind of thing. Oh, the Twitch!
Ooh, Twitch, he is the submarine. And once again, Azir in the randoms position
And
Why
bot lane?
there? And
Bot
now in
lane?
bot lane, Potato Spaghetti is in a bit of trouble. He's trying to get away from yourself, but the roots have come in. In comes the pony. Can he show that friendship is magic, or will it be a kill back? Yourself on the run here, has gotten into the bush, trying to turn around. There is the magic sap. He's doing his best to bonk him down, but in the end, Coyote gets the kill.
That was way too close. I don't even understand what just happened there. Also, small applaud. Don't know if Twitch chat heard it, but small applaud to the micro play of that Azir catch. Kha'Zix did block the Azir E, and Twitch was standing just out of range with his Q, waiting for the pick. That was well played. Well played.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. And it will be the second Rift Herald going over to the 7 Deadly Sins. And I did say the one way for 7 Deadly Sins to overcome this comp disadvantage was execution. And at the moment, I mean, there is certainly execution going on. And it looks like 7 Deadly Sins are the executioners.
I wouldn't even say that it's execution. I would say that it's UPR not doing anything.
Exactly. It's UPR mis-executing.
Yeah, it's I've seen so many things that are questionable. I've seen people walk over things.
Oh my god! Over the wall and die. He's about to blast code over the wall and die. He lacks critical information. And there's the kill. The Malphite will go flying and gets instantly exhausted, which goes underwater. Potato Spaghetti says, oh, I'm going to walk into a bush with a Kha'Zix. I'm very, very smart. There's a shockwave. Freezy in the backside will pick up the kill on that Simmer. Rewind is on the run. Big Bang hunting him down. He might be the sacrificial lamb. But no, he manages to live as Freezy is zoning them all away. There goes the last chapter. They will be picking up a few kills here. And a big shutdown as well, but it isn't quite over. Freezy still alive. Now the cat is desperately looking for an owner. Can he get onto the Malphite? You've got to get on him and heal him, man. What are you doing? Oh, good God, as Haya stays out for some reason. He's trying to kite around now, but this is a cat that desperately needs a home. But I think the only one they're going to find is a hole in the ground. Ooh, actually, no. Little Jukes here might get him away, but can the final hit come in? About time, as Freezy will send the cat to the pound.
I can't even compliment any of these teams because it's UPR just playing completely off the rail. They're not doing. There was a slight sliver with the Malphite ulting onto the Twitch, but they didn't even kill him. Sivir just walks into melee range and ends up dying for it anyways. And there's just so many micro misplays. This shows that micro does matter.
Micro?
Not all
Micro?
Micro.
There's some big ones. I don't need a microscope to see.
There's some big ones, and it just leads into something. It just leads into a bad fight. There's also macro.
Why are you blast-coning over that wall that you can't see it? Why are you doing it?
There was an idea. They just didn't think enough about it. This is low elo at its finest. They don't understand what vision means.
This is
a stomp.
This is a game. This is a game of League of Legends where one team is in Discord and it appears that the other is not. Did they fix their Discord after that pause, or did they just give up?
This is Corona Q. This is what solo queue looks like right now.
Queue is real. It just turns out it's organized play.
In custom games, losers queue exists. It just randomly filters. Freezy on the Orianna is just yep. I will keep praising it. Ignitar doing his best. They're setting up. I like seeing Sean Houston doing a bit more than he's done in the last couple of games. He's trying to be a little more proactive, get his KP up. I appreciate that. Sivir trying to lane swap a bit as well, but she ends up dying for it and not really doing much. So I like that they're trying different things, but UPR are trying the wrong thing. Like getting out of position.
Yeah, and they're out of position again. The bug comes flying in. A lot of damage. There's a turnaround, though. But the shielding, they just don't do any damage. Yeah, he has to flash over the wall. Can they finally do it? Yumi, why did you detach? What is going on? This cat is feral!
Yumi has fucking... I can't tell if Sivir kicked her off intentionally.
Oh, good God. They're going for round 2. They dive in onto the Twitch. They will manage to get that kill, but a teleport is called. So now they need to find a way out. Kha'Zix seems to pop this Rift Herald before it expires. There it is, finally.
Bit of a waste of a teleport. Hecarim had already started to disengage by the time that came out. But that is just a little bit of a glimpse. Hecarim Yumi, still scary even when they're quite behind. Of course, they did 7DS did overstay a little bit once that fight because they did want to use Rift Herald, but yeah, there's just so many misplays from UPR that it's just mind-boggling. They need to do at least 4 VOD reviews of these 2 games to understand that this is not how you play League of Legends.
It's not how you play this competition, at least. They've been so over-aggressive, it's just unnecessary. And now look at the mid lane. I think there's a little bit of a gold gap, you know?
Just a little. Just a 3.5k gold gap.
Yeah, it's just 3,500 gold in one lane.
Do I smell a smells like a Magi's? Maybe coming in from Freezy? Possibly? No?
Yeah.
No? Oblivion Orb?
No. Oh, he's not gonna go for it yet.
Boring. But Freezy's Orianna, always fun to watch. Yeah. And Bing Bang's top lane. Not very fun to watch right now. He's not doing much except getting solo killed or missing Malphite.
This has been honestly been a pretty shocking series out of Big Bang. All 3 games, he's not been great up in that top lane.
I'm gonna be honest. First game, I thought 7DS were just gonna get 2-0'd. Easy clap. UPR coming out swinging strong, and I cannot tell you why.
What happened?
I don't know.
What happened?
Are 7DS just the... Who is it? I think it's Fnatic that they always lose game 1 in a series. Was that G2? It's one of them.
Fnatic.
I think it's Fnatic, yeah. I don't know if 7DS have Fnatic syndrome or what it is, but I can't compliment either team. Again, I mean,
I think 7DS have been playing really, really well. I think Freezy's a fantastic Orianna player.
Freezy's definitely a fantastic Orianna player. They have been doing certain things that make me very proud, and then there's just certain small things that don't make me... Oh, they're doing the comp! They're doing it!
Here they go, the combos coming in, but they're just too far behind. The only one hit by anything is the Malphite. Azir comes in from the back, is dealing quite a lot of damage, has the soldiers going. Big Bang tries to get away, but he burns down for poison. Azir has 1. Can they try and do something in this fight? I don't think so. Rewind very, very low, but it doesn't even matter, as there is another kill for the bird, but Shurima will fall. Triple kill for Freezy, and it's an ace for 7 Deadly Sins.
I had a small slither of hope. At first, when the fight went off, I saw Hecarim ulti, and I thought it was over, because he didn't hit any of the priority targets. And then Azir came in the back. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Sean did his best to try and position with what he had. And then I realized that Freezy wasn't there. You can't forget about Freezy. Freezy just comes in, cleans up everybody, and it's fucking over by that time. Sean is playing Twitch exactly how you want to be playing it into these types of comps. You sit in stealth until the major cooldowns are down. Of course, he couldn't really do that. Stealth was already ending by the time he opened up with the rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, whatever. Azir did come in, try and knock yeah, small shot. But Malphite and Hecarim, of course, they need to engage the fights, but it's also super important that you get onto his backline. And Ori wasn't even there. There was no backline to get onto there. That was just a panic engage to try and get at least one person there.
Yeah, it was. And as we saw, the back half of the fight was too easy for Freezy, as he came in and just cleaned up everyone. He's now 9-0-2 with an 80 farm lead. This Orianna certainly has the balls. That could be the Infernal Soul potentially taken. Oh my god!
Desperation.
That's disgusting. They go in for the Miracle Steal. He had to go for that. He pays for it with his life. The rest of the team will manage to evacuate it, please.
You know what? Chester E. Cheetah, the famous Cheetos mascot, he said, it ain't easy being cheesy. But you know what? It is easy to be Freezy. He is just running all over this team. He doesn't have a Mage Eyes yet, so I'll criticize him for that. But Christ, they are just so desperate. They are tilted. They're trying their best.
If we're gonna go with the cereal puns to describe Freezy, oh Cheetos, yeah, no, they don't sell them here. I've got another one because talking about Freezy's play so time, they're great! Haha, see? American.
Yeah.
American things.
Right.
Well, they totally sell those here. I'm not in Australia or anything. No, I'm part of you guys. Nah, they don't sell them here.
You don't sell Frosted Flakes? Okay.
Nah, not at all. Okay. We don't have a lot of the American brands. We're very far away.
Understandable. What? I'm very interested in this. So who cares about the cast? What? No, but
we have Nutrigrain. And
oh, I know
Bits.
Nutrigrain. That's an American thing. Oh, American thing as well.
I believe this is originally Australian. It might have spread.
Probably.
I mean,
They
I
just
think.
have it
I
in
think.
the US as well.
Yeah. I think Cocoa Pops are in America as well.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, we
Europe
have
as well.
those.
Yeah, that's good. Good. Delicious.
I went to Canada and I had Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That was
Ah,
good cereal.
loved
I
it.
really wish we had that here, but we don't.
They kind of have a knockoff called Cine Minis in Europe, but they're very hard to find. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch too. 70s are
good.
kind of just in the bot side, getting vision control. I can't tell when Drake's up. My timers are not working correctly.
4 minutes.
4 minutes for Elder Dragon.
Soul.
They already have Infernal Soul, which just makes Freezy's life a little bit easier. Probably can one-shot
I mean,
the Yumi.
if you couldn't tell, chat, the fact that we were talking about cereal actually does herald the fact that this game is over.
I mean-
We're just waiting for the next.
And Sivir almost gets one shot. Doesn't even need
Oh
a shot.
my god!
Well, 70s, they understand that their main damage source, Pearl goes down. Of course they can't fight. They can't end the game. Why would they want to do that? Why would they ever want to end the game? Instead,
Malphite has one item at 26 minutes.
that
What's
is
he doing? He only just finished.
Oh! This could be
Oh,
big!
here we go. It's being knocked up. This could be it. Finally, they're layering everything correctly. They get 2 kills immediately. Sean Houston has gone down, but now the bug runs rampant, and this was the problem. If he got too far ahead, it didn't matter. And Freezy once again shows why it is so easy to be Freezy. Haya is the last one left alive, and they pull the ace out of their sleeve.
I stood up in my chair for that fight because they thought, oh, you know, AD carry. Ever heard of vein spotting? Yeah, let's fuck up the Twitch. No, I want to fuck up Freezy. He just one-shot your entire backline. Twitch doesn't do anything. It's Freezy. He has stopwatch too. Oh my god, there was a glimpse.
And with that last team fight, there was a glimmer of hope, but it was quickly extinguished as Freezy has brought the frost as the 7 deadly sins executed on their wrath to take out the United Poros there in 2 back-to-back stomps.
I just don't understand. They didn't understand that Freezy was the main priority target. That was just... I understand that there was a glimmer of hope at the end there. I could tell that 70s were a bit too stacked. They wanted to get that bot lane tower. They understood. But... And then UPR was like, oh shit, I forgot about our comp. I forgot what we need to do. And that was just a glimmer of hope. And then they forgot about Freezy.
Yep.
And
Unfortunate.
that segues me into what I want to talk about. MVP for the series. Who do you think?
I'm thinking Big Bang up in the top lane. I think he had a really good impact for his team. Really helped 7 Deadly Sins get over the line. No, I'm joking. That's a bit mean. But no, it's Freezy, obviously. It's Freezy.
UPR, man. You have promise. You have promise. I don't know what happened in game 2.
Really good.
Why
were they so good in game 1? I don't understand.
Donger, you were a glimmer of hope. You were a diamond in the rough. Your Sejuani was not supposed to do that much early game, and yet you did.
No.
And
I don't understand.
just I feel it. Fnatic, you know, they go 0-2 in the first couple of weeks. You know, United, I'm rooting for you here. I think you can do better, but in the end, easy breezy beautiful Freezy just pulls it out and doesn't pull out the Magi. Sadly, I'll talk to him about that later. Probably give him a spanking, but it's Freezy just steamrolled. I can't stress enough that Ignitar did his job in the in the second game. The third game, he did something, but Freezy in the end was the one that just steamrolled over everybody.
Absolutely. But with that, it will be the end of the series. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Once again, I have been every day, and with me has been last. Sorry, had to check. Sorry about that. We hope you have enjoyed the show, everybody. We really appreciate you tuning in. It was a fun set of games, even if 2 of them were very, very one-sided. So make sure you tune in for more Valence League when it's on thank you again. We hope you enjoyed our cast. See you, everyone.